The boy who walked through storms. There's a kind of strength that doesn't shout. It doesn't push people around or demand attention. It simply grows in silence, waiting until the world finally notices. This is a story about a boy named Ethan, the boy they laughed at until they needed him. Ethan was 13 when he moved to a new city with his mother. His father had passed away after a long illness, and the family's savings were almost gone. They moved into a small apartment above a bakery, and his mother began working 2 jobs, cleaning homes during the day and waitressing at night. Ethan, though young, understood responsibility. He never asked for new clothes or a fancy phone. He only asked for one thing, a good education. He believed that if he worked hard enough, one day things would get better. But school wasn't easy. On his first day, he sat quietly at the back of the classroom. He didn't try to make friends or join in the chatter. He was shy, polite, and a little awkward. To the other kids, he seemed odd. Some teased him for always being alone. Some laughed when he answered questions too seriously. Others mocked the way he wore the same shoes every day. He never answered back. Not because he couldn't, but because he chose not to. Ethan believed that reacting with anger only gave power to those who wanted to break you down. He focused instead on his books. He read during lunch breaks. He solved extra problems after school. And every evening, he worked part-time at the bakery downstairs, helping the owner clean up and deliver bread to nearby shops. One afternoon before exams, a few classmates decided to teach him a lesson. They took Ethan's notes and drawings, everything he had carefully prepared for months, and tore them up, scattering the pieces in the hallway. When Ethan saw the mess, he stood still. His eyes filled with tears, but he didn't cry. He quietly picked up every piece and walked home. That night, he didn't sleep. He rewrote every single note from memory. Page after page, until dawn. And when the exam results came out, Ethan had scored the highest in the class. Those who mocked him were stunned. But Ethan didn't gloat. He just went back to his seat, opened his book, and kept studying. Weeks later, a group science project was assigned. The group with the most popular kids struggled. Their leaders skipped school often, and no one really understood the assignment. They were panicking, the deadline was close, and their presentation was a mess. And then, something surprising happened. Ethan offered to help. He had overheard them stressing during lunch. Without judgment or pride, he approached them after class and said, "If you want, I can help explain it." They looked at him, confused. This was the boy they had teased for months. Why would he help? But Ethan didn't care about the past. He only saw a problem that he could solve. He stayed with them after school, patiently teaching them the experiment, helping them build a model, and even rehearsing the presentation with them. On presentation day, their group earned second place. When the teacher praised their teamwork, some of them turned to look at Ethan with a new kind of respect, not the kind forced by fear, but the kind earned through actions. From that moment, Ethan's world slowly began to shift. The whispers behind his back stopped. Some kids started asking him for help. Others just watched him with quiet admiration. But Ethan didn't change. He was still the boy who brought home leftover bread from the bakery. Still the boy who wore the same shoes. Still the boy who read quietly during lunch. But now, people began to notice the strength in that silence. The power in his calm. And the discipline in his kindness. By the time he reached his final year, Ethan was not just a top student, he was the top student. He had won a scholarship to a top university in London. He was offered awards for academic excellence and leadership. And he had inspired many others to change, not because he shouted the loudest, but because he walked his path with dignity. At the school assembly, the principal called him on stage to give a short speech. Ethan walked to the podium, tall, confident, calm. And this is what he said. You don't need to be loud to be strong. You don't need to prove yourself to those who laugh at you. Just be honest. Be kind. Work hard. And never forget, your value doesn't decrease because someone else can't see it. I never wanted to be better than others. I just wanted to be better than I was yesterday. The auditorium fell silent. And then, applause. Loud and long. There will always be people who try to bring you down. People who misunderstand your silence for weakness. But like Ethan, if you keep going, with kindness, patience, and purpose, your time will come. Let your success be your answer. Let your actions speak for you. And remember, real strength doesn't shout. It just keeps moving forward.